Hello, I hope you are having an amazing day whenever this video finds your way in your life. I was very much not going to talk about this subject because it's extremely triggering. I do want to give a warning up front that this video will talk about mental health, and it will also touch on suicide, which is for some people very triggering, and rightfully so. If this is something that would be triggering to you, I would advise you to click out of this video, because I never want to push anything that could cause harm. That if you're not in the right space, it is okay, and to go and find something that will provide light and airiness to you, because you deserve that. But if you choose to watch this video, I will be touching on some very vulnerable pieces that may make you feel uncomfortable, may make you feel emotions that you have worked very hard to suppress. I created this video not in a way to bring up pain, but to bring enlightenment, hopefully some inspiration, some encouragement, some love in this particular subject matter. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So reading the headlines on Sunday of former Miss USA, Cheslie Kryst, committing suicide was very sobering. It's sobering because when you look at her, you see what everyone wants to be: a beautiful, intelligent, successful, accomplished woman. She just turned 30 or was in her 30s and lived, just like in New York, like living the life, what everyone wants to aspire to be like, that it girl. Yet she tragically ended her life because she was dealing with a lot of things that I feel for Black women we typically hide, because it's very scary to show our pain. It's scary to acknowledge that even if you have everything going for you by societal standards, that there could be other things that are going on, or even though you may be having everything, that doesn't mean that it registers to you and that it connects with you, even though outside seems to see you as the epitome, the goal, the desired being. Black women historically have more mental health issues than their counterparts of white women. Stats overall say that Black women, suffer the most, yet are a quarter to white women to go and seek help. Sometimes direct messages that showing any signs of wear and tear, illness, is perceived in a negative light, especially when you're, trying to escape the perils of discrimination and racism and all the isms. So for Black women, we hide. And the thing that I found the most interesting about the why, you can have the data, but there's always, what is the reason behind the data? And the reason overall from quite a few articles was that we have this appearance that we have to keep up within the community. Especially one article that I read about older Black women, and yes, they're suffering, but they didn't want that to be the case. They would, adamantly say, oh no, it's just because of some physical element, because in our society, we're a little bit more accepting of physical pains versus the mental, because seeing something mental, you can't see it. Our society isn't able to understand, to provide empathy, to provide grace to us, to Black women. It's seen, we are magical, we're Black girl magic, we're the strong Black woman, and unfortunately, with those sorts of appearances and standards, if you will, we don't seek help, because having confirmation to me, having confirmation on certain things is extremely great, because you can now diagnose, therefore you can now treat. But for other people, knowing, it's one thing to have it kind of like I think, but to have it confirmed in black and white is hard. And then the medications that one could go through, going through therapy, those are things that in the black community as a collective, we still shun. It is something a little bit more trendy now, a little bit more popular now, which I find is maybe the Gemini in me sees it kind of a duality. I think it's quite great that there is a push to seek therapy, but I also find it quite humorous because in my own experience, that was a laughing stock matter to seek therapy, to try to assist yourself in those mental health avenues. For looking at Cheslie's life, I read an article in Allure that she basically kind of, the focus of the article was high functioning depression. And I look at the high functioning depression in our society, especially millennials. It is very, very dire because you are looking at IG, you're looking at Twitter, you're looking at Snapchat or whatever, TikTok, and you're seeing people going viral and then they're having their whole lives changed, it seems like instantaneously. And when you see that, you're unable to celebrate your own wins. And if you are struggling with anything, you try to push that aside because you want to reach the goal. You want to be what everyone's talking about. You want to be that. And whatever path of life you are, you're wanting to be that girl. But high functioning depression, it looks very odd because you see this person going after all these goals. They've accomplished all these things. You can't fathom that that person is also dealing with depression, anxiety, a whole host of other mental disorders because all you're seeing is this highly ambitious person. As someone who does have high functioning depression and high functioning other neurodiversities, it makes you kind of just like, oh, just get over it. You'll be okay. Just move, keep pushing, instead of being met with compassion, understanding, love. You're just met with this message of pushing on. And I look at that on top of all the isms that a Black woman goes through from, racism, sexism. You have your texturism, what I like to call, because of your hair. You have your featureism. You have colorism, like your size. Everything under the sun goes on top of what I like to look at as like the millennial chokehold, which is to seem perfect, to be that 30 under 30, to be, that person, that girl that everyone aspires to be. But it's extremely toxic and it's extremely taxing on the mind when you have to keep up this aesthetic, this front, where you're scared to seek help. Because by seeking help, that somehow means you're weak. And that goes head to head with the mantra that often most Black women carry, which is, I'm a strong Black woman. That has been passed down from generation to generation, that we are strong Black women. And for some, they take pride in being a strong Black woman. And I look at it as one of the most toxic and poisonous philosophies that we hold dear to. And we do that, and it rejects the very needs that we have. It rejects us from being able to reach out when we need it because we're supposed to be strong. I am now coming up on my 12th year anniversary of my own failed suicide attempt. On the 21st of February will be 12 years. And I think about the words of the cop who lost the coin toss, who happened to be Black. Actually, both officers were Black that came to, I'll say to my aid. And I remember them flipping a coin to see who takes the crazy bitch to the hospital. And after the person who lost, it was a very ugly experience. And I often wonder, maybe if I were fairer skinned, maybe if I were skinny, I would have been seen as someone who was in need of help and not to be treated as a criminal or a burden or, oh my God, I'm having to waste my time helping this person. I will never forget the words this officer said, and here it is now, 12 years, him stating to me, that's for white girls. You're Black, you're supposed to be strong. And my reply to him was, I'm so sorry that you lost the coin toss. This all taking maybe an hour from the moment that I tried to end my life. Coming up on my 12th year anniversary, I think of all the things that contributed to that moment even happening. I wanted to be everything other than myself. Seeking out to be this, what I would call the ideal black girl. I just wanted to escape the perils of what I was, being a fat, black, poor girl. Those were negatives within the community and definitely outside of the community. Feeling that I had to constantly perform in order to just be seen, not even to be treated fully as a human, but just to get a little piece, a crumb of dignity and humanity. I know that there are other black girls out there who have the same feelings, and they may be good at really like hiding it. You know, I think of Solange's song, you know, you can't smoke it away, drink it away, work it away, shop it away, eat it away, fuck it away. You can't do that. All that does is consistently rob you, deplete you of what the little that you have left. If you are a black woman and you are suffering, I want you to understand that you are very well deserving of love, compassion, understanding, and help. Calling in help is to me a flex, because we're in a society that would prefer to die than to seek help. And it's not a white girl thing, even though stats show that to kind of be the case. But the reason behind it is because we have to prove that we're magical. We're black girl magic. We're a strong black woman. And all that does is continues to compound and isolate us, keeping us away from nutrients that we need in order to heal and to grow and to bloom and to flourish. And I really wish within this Black History Month that we could let go of that. And again, I see the black therapists out there, and it's awesome. Like, I love seeing that, because there's, within the research that I had to conduct, there was often another issue that was raised, which is having culturally competent practitioners to provide care, because for black people as a collective, we have experienced, be it directly or indirectly, having very poor treatment in the medical realm. So to bare my soul and to bare my heart to someone who may not look like me, who is not culturally competent enough to understand and hold space for me and my experience, is hard. You compound that with the need to look strong, and you have generations of depression and anxiety and other diabolical and debilitating mental health issues that are passed down to generation, because we are unable to receive help. And seeing black practitioners now and other culture practitioners now out there is, to me, it's beautiful. I would also say, don't limit yourself to just those that look like you, because I have had other therapists of non-black ethnicity, and I find that I had the greatest opportunity. Have I had some bad therapists? Most definitely. But I've also had some phenomenal therapists, and neither one of them were black. So don't limit yourself to that, because sometimes you say, oh, I only want someone who's black. You have to understand that stats don't lie, and that there aren't a lot of black practitioners. Even though we may see them on social media is a highlight reel. So it makes it appear as though there's a bunch, but in reality, not the case. There are more coming out, but it's still a lot. The demand and the supply are not compatible. But seek help and continue to seek help. When I started attending therapy, I got ridiculed, isolated, and ostracized pretty immediately. because that's just not something that you do. You're Black. You're not supposed to talk about those things. Those things are to be covered up by degrees and other financial successes and, you know, smoking and drinking on the weekends, maybe even on the evenings to get you through. Those are not half the life that I could sustain, because that just did not correlate well for me. But receiving help over the last 12 years has been phenomenally eye-opening. It has allowed me to see myself as human and to also be able to extend grace and understanding, because I just felt hatred and anger towards the very people that look like me, because I was casted out, because I was in pain. It's like I tried so hard to be somebody, to be seen and to be visible and to be validated in my experiences, you know, just being, just my existence. And then to do all of that and still flounder and fail miserably was painful, and living seemed to be exhausting. And the only control that I saw that I had was to end it. And for some, it's finally comforting. I would think about the day that I tried, and I remember doing what I did, which I'm not going to disclose or discuss, because that's way too much. But I remember afterwards the peace that I felt, the calm that I felt after. And I don't think I had ever felt calm like that in my entire life. I was about 25 at the time. Never had felt that level of peace and calm. And the reason for it was because I, in my mind, taken control, and it was going to end what I felt was unsuccessful. My 12 years has not been sweet. It's not been light, airy. It doesn't come with a Cinderella ending like I would love, where I can say, oh, after I had this for 6 months, I went to therapy and was well supported and loved and was able to find love and marriage and financial success. That has not been the case. There were several years of just struggle busing, because I had no support, and I was extremely at odds with the person that I needed to become and who I was always going to be, versus the person I wanted to be, because that's what I was told. Those did not mix. It was like oil and fire. It was hard. But sitting here now, being able to record this now, I can look back at that person with grace, understanding, compassion, because she did her best. She gave her best. Yet those around her did not. Those around her chose to ignore her unless it was to benefit them. I want to share a few lasting pieces with you that I hope brings some understanding, some encouragement, some love to you if you're dealing with anything under the sun. All right, so as I wrap this video up, I just want to say, Black women in all different shapes and sizes, whatever your path is, from my bougie girls to my hood chicks, to my corporate chicks, to my Afro-futuristic girls, my bohemians, my goth girls, my soft ones, my nerds, and everything in between. My strippers. You are beautiful, and it's not just this aesthetics, because we can always whip up some bundles and some makeup. I'm talking about at the core. You are loved. You are delightful. You are a delight. You are a gem. And every time that you are not able to maneuver in this world in your fullest expression, we lose sparkle, we lose shine, we lose you. You are the creators of life, the life givers, from birthing babies to birthing ideas and projects to their manifestation in this physical, tangible world. Things that I would love for Black women to let go of and to add it to their lives. Number one is this mantra of being a strong Black woman. I want you to throw that idea in the garbage. It has done so much insidious damage to the community of Black women as a whole for generations. Like, fight that narrative. You are soft, you are sweet, and you are deserving. Like, period. There doesn't need to be any other qualifiers. It's not when you have become X. Absolutely not. It is now. It is right now. Just you being you. And I know that it's scary to even think of such, because the society constantly tells us that we're not, that we need to keep working harder, jump higher, be more. Think of it this way. So many women do things, especially Black women, have done so many things that could be a risk of their lives for the sole piece to be seen as acceptable. Wonder why there's so many BBLs out there, and we ridicule people for getting them, especially when it comes to our Black women. Let go of the strong Black woman. You're soft, you're fluffy, you're sweet. Be. Your pain does not need to be hidden. You do not need to do any extras to be loved. And if there's anybody in your life, in your environment, in your orbit that feels that you need to be performative, throw them in the trash. Like a bad, raggedy, synthetic wig. Throw it in the trash. It's not a good look, and it doesn't add to you. This one here may spark a few opinions, but from Black woman to Black woman, please cease with belittling each other. Quit policing each other and the need for your hair to be perfectly laid. Talking about their lace fronts, talking about their edges, talking about this and that. You policing other Black women will not put you any closer to being adjacent to a Caucasian woman or what you see as higher than. Like, please understand that. It will never be. There is no need to criticize and critique. The colorism, the texturism, the featureism is absolutely mind-blowingly dumb to me. Because at the end of the day, you are still a Black woman. Please remember that. It is okay to go get help in whatever way you need it. If it's a therapist, if it's a nanny, if it's a maid, if it's a physical therapist, if it's a trainer, if it's having a stylist, if it's having a cook, if it's just whatever it is, if it's a meal prep service, if it's whatever. Know that it is perfectly beautiful and okay and deserving for you to get the help that you need, because every other ethnicity of woman does. That goes back to my first point of let go of the strong Black woman, because you're hindering your life. And just know that you're beautiful. Know that you and the way that you move, no one else can do it the way you do it. No matter where you are, if you're like my churchy girl, whatever you are. Like, own your beauty, own your essence, and live. I am grateful that I am still here 12 years later. Because when I look at the 25-year-old me, she did not want to be here. She hated this world because how the world hated her. But like anything, we can always take our lemons and make lemonade. We can make a lemon martini. We can make a lemon pound cake. You do whatever you want to do. If you are someone who is in pain right now, please understand that it can get better. You just have to reach out. And I know that's not easy. That is still very hard for me to do to this day. Let's let go of the notions of the performative. Reach out to your strong friends. That happens every time there is someone who takes their life. Are you really a friend if you only reach out when there's bad times? Are you really a friend only when it's fair weather? Like, everyone's going through it right now. Of course, and like, yeah. But to me, even while I'm going through my storm, I also am aware of what's around me and those that I said that I love. even if it's just a quick text message, a meme, or something. But don't just reach out to your strong friends. Ask yourself the question, why do they have to be strong? What is fortifying this need to be strong when other people do not have to do so? We are the life creators. Really truly understand that. That means we can change whatever it is that we desire. We just have to desire it. Hope this video provided some knowledge, some insight, some wisdom, some encouragement of some sort. If you are new here, I thank you for watching. If you're someone who's returning, I love you even more. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell while you're there in the neighborhood. Share this with your friends. Share this with your groups. Leave some comments if this resonated with you or if not. And until next time, I hope that you are living your best life.